My name is Ida Levenson.
And I'm Geneva White, and we are Scope of Work. Scope of Work is a talent development agency for underrepresented young creatives that establishes equity in the creative industry.
We're in a time in this country and in this world where people are being called to do their biggest and bravest work. And for Geneva and I, Scope of Work is just that.
We founded Scope of Work to address the lack of reflective representation in the industry and to bridge the gap between the creative community and young people of color. As we know, this is a pervasive issue across the sector. It's undeniable.
As two artists and educators of color, we came to this work because we live it. In addition to having an extensive career in education, I'm the founder of a nail art brand, and I work in design and fashion. I'm often in rooms and on set where the only other person of color is being objectified in front of the camera. This industry is built on borrowed youth culture, and young creators of color are being excluded from this space. Having a singular perspective is not a viable business practice, and companies are being pushed to rectify this issue.
I co-founded SOW with 10 years of experience in traditional higher arts education. For years, I sat across the table in admissions interviews with young people of color here in New York City that were lucky to have even one art class on their transcript. We have to build non-traditional learning experiences for creative growth outside of the current system that has failed people of color for generations. Young creatives of color deserve a seat at the table.
And a shift is happening. By 2020, Gen Z is going to be over 50% people of color, 40% of the consumer base, and 20% of the workforce. The creative industry cannot afford to maintain the status quo and must invest in creatives of color. But it's not enough just to point out the problem. We must come up with viable, sustainable, and real solutions, and Scope of Work is the answer.
Our vision is to build a more inclusive creative ecosystem. SOW's ecosystem is a conduit and a blueprint for the creative industry to nurture and invest in the next creative class. As a social impact company, our strategy is built on 3 pillars and sustained by a hybrid funding model of both philanthropic support and revenue-generated income. These 3 pillars are talent development, a talent pipeline, and a talent agency.
For talent development, SOW partners with industry leaders and companies on a curated skill-building programming for young creatives that strengthens their technical and professional skills. The SOW community is made up of young people ages 17 and 24, and we prioritize New York natives.
Our fellowship program innovates on the traditional internship model by connecting young people with the critical early workplace experiences that are necessary to launch their careers. Creative industry partners then invest in our fellows, and we provide them with essential training and ongoing coaching. SOW's talent agency provides recruitment and placement services for creative companies. Through our membership-based model, creative companies gain access to a new pool of untapped talent that's essential to their growth and sustainability.
And long-term change requires that 3 pieces of our ecosystem work in tandem to support and sustain one another. And we know it works. In 2018, we've built a roster of over 200 creatives. With the support of our creative community, we raised $20,000 in 30 days. We've produced a 40-page research report on key findings from our fellowship program, and we've placed 23 young people in full-time, part-time, and freelance positions.
For example, Christopher Zapata, who is in the room right now, is a 23-year-old Ecuadorian photographer and filmmaker from Harlem. Because of his work with SOW, he had the opportunity to work with major brands and recently had his work published in Maxim magazine. Being exposed to a rich network of creative professionals that directly reflect his experience have helped him to see himself in these roles. And on the flip side, Combo, a branding agency, is one of our earliest stakeholders. They believe that their competitive edge is the result of the diverse team that SOW helped to build. Because of our partnership, they're thinking more critically about their social mission and are creating more innovative work because of more diverse perspectives.
So what's next? In 2019, we're going to continue to build out our talent roster. We're executing our summer fellowship program, and we're going to build out our talent agency. And we're currently seeking anchor partners in financing our mission. We're interested in grants, partnerships with brands, and agency clients.
and we're excited to work with you. So please come meet us, Chris, and other SOW members in the Sky Room after this.
Thank you.
Thank you.